The Philippines, an archipelago of over 7,000 islands, is a nation woven from diverse threads. Its history is a rich tapestry of indigenous cultures and colonial influences. From the rice terraces of Banaue to the bustling streets of Manila, the past shapes the present. Long before Western powers, Filipinos forged their identities with the sea and land. Skilled seafarers and traders, their communities were governed by datus and rajas. Magellan's arrival in 1521 marked the start of Spanish colonization. This era introduced Christianity and fused indigenous traditions with Spanish customs. Despite colonial rule, Filipinos preserved their identity, languages, and customs. Before the arrival of the Spanish, the Philippine archipelago was not a unified nation. Instead, it was a constellation of independent villages and larger political entities known as barangays. These barangays, often led by a chieftain or datu, engaged in trade, diplomacy, and sometimes conflict with one another. Archaeological evidence tells tales of sophisticated societies that thrived in these islands long before the arrival of Europeans. The Laguna copperplate inscription, dating back to the 10th century, offers evidence of a written script and a complex social structure. This artifact, discovered in 1989, pushed back the timeline of Philippine history and challenged previous assumptions about pre-colonial societies. Trade played a crucial role in ancient Philippine life. Chinese, Arab, and Indian merchants sailed to these shores exchanging goods and ideas. The islands became a melting pot of cultures, with influences from these trading partners evident in language, art, and religious practices. This interaction fostered a vibrant and cosmopolitan society. The indigenous belief systems of the pre-colonial Philippines were diverse and often animistic, revering spirits inhabiting the natural world. Bathala, considered the supreme deity by Tagalogs, represented the power of creation. Other deities, spirits, and ancestors were also venerated, reflecting a deep connection to the spiritual realm. These beliefs, though often syncretized with Christianity, continue to resonate in Filipino culture today. The arrival of Ferdinand Magellan in 1521 marked the beginning of Spanish colonization in the Philippines. Magellan's expedition, seeking a westward route to the Spice Islands, claimed the archipelago for Spain, naming it after King Philip II. Magellan's journey, however, ended tragically on the shores of Mactan Island, where he was slain by the chieftain Lapu-Lapu. Despite Magellan's demise, Spanish ambitions in the region remained undeterred. Subsequent expeditions led by Ruy López de Villalobos and Miguel López de Legazpi eventually succeeded in establishing a permanent Spanish presence. The city of Manila, strategically located on the island of Luzon, became the center of Spanish colonial power. Spanish colonization brought about profound changes to Philippine society. The introduction of Christianity, spearheaded by Augustinian, Franciscan, and Dominican friars, led to the conversion of a large portion of the population. Churches and cathedrals, often built atop ancient places of worship, rose across the islands, transforming the architectural and religious landscape. The Spanish established a hierarchical social structure, with Spaniards occupying the highest rungs. This system, known as the encomienda system, granted Spaniards control over land and the labor of indigenous populations. The encomienda system, while enriching the Spanish colonizers, led to exploitation and abuse of the Filipino people. Despite centuries of Spanish rule, the desire for freedom never truly died in the hearts of the Filipino people. Uprisings and revolts, fueled by oppression and injustice, flared up throughout the colonial period. These acts of defiance, though often suppressed, demonstrated the resilience and yearning for self-determination that simmered beneath the surface. One such uprising, the Dagohoy Rebellion, lasted for over 8 decades in the 18th century. Led by Francisco Dagohoy, it began as a protest against forced labor and abuses by Spanish authorities. The rebellion, centered in Bohol, highlighted the growing discontent with Spanish rule and the willingness of Filipinos to fight for their rights. The 19th century witnessed a surge in nationalist sentiment, influenced by Enlightenment ideas and revolutions sweeping across Europe and the Americas. Filipino intellectuals, many educated in Europe, began to advocate for greater autonomy and reform. They formed secret societies, published subversive literature, and called for an end to Spanish oppression. Among these intellectuals emerged José Rizal, a polymath writer and national hero. Rizal's novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, exposed the ills of Spanish colonialism and ignited the flames of revolution. His writings, though critical of the Spanish regime, also emphasized education, reform, and the importance of peaceful resistance.
Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends who love history. Stay tuned for more history inspirational videos and tips. Thank you for watching.